Peace, everyone. This is your girl, Nikisha, with FavorFlowRestorative, coming in with another timeless message. And what I wanted to talk about today is I just wanted to ask a question, right? So I grew up as a Christian, and in that specific religion, I don't really know about how other people grow up in other religions, because that's not my reality. But what I recognize is that we talked a whole lot about the rapture. You see the rapture movies, Left Behind, all of these type of things talking about a rapture, right? So I come to you with the question of, are you going to collapse a timeline? Or are you going to be collapsed by the timeline? Because it's truly a choice. See, in this life, we get a chance to loop into what we've continued to do before, and usually that's a side effect of not learning the lesson of whatever that cycle comes to teach us. And some of us stay in it because it's very comfortable. But really what we should be doing is experiencing life in a spiral. So if a loop is just like a big O, then a spiral should start from the center and work its way out, right? So I ask you, are you going to collapse a timeline in this moment? What choice are you going to make? Are you going to be collapsed by a timeline? Because the rapture is not an external event. The revolution will not be televised, okay? The rapture is internal. So if we talk about the internal version of us, what is your full potential? Do any of us really know what our full potential is? Is the world that we live in the society and its hidden rules, along with its laws and ordinances and norms, does it create a life for you on an individualized level that will allow you to unlock your full potential of energy? And the only way that we can really unlock our full potential is by becoming attuned with our own energetic field. So as I speak about this, are you experiencing obstacles, distractions, which can be people, places, or things? So can obstacles that may hold you back. And it may not be externally. When we really look at it, if we really sit down and think about it and have a conversation with ourselves and think about whether what we're experiencing in our outer world is really a condition of and an expression and a personification of our inner world. Is it influenced by your thoughts, your emotions? And what experiences have the power or the authority to obstruct your energy flow from flowing freely? Because that's really what it is. Anytime we experience any blockages within our chakra systems, it's as a result of something obstructing some part of our field. So some ways that we can feel this. So the symptoms of maybe having obstructions in our energy field could be feeling emotionally drained. Really tune into how you feel around certain people, places, or things whenever you leave, because sometimes you may not feel that way whenever you're around in that situation. But what happens whenever you leave? How do you feel? Do a quick body scan, like check in and really figure out like what part of that is your own energy and what part of that may exist outside of yourself. Are you stuck in negative thought patterns? That is the reason why I speak about essential oils and allowing us, because I use essential oils as a medicine for myself to be able to break emotional patterns, because that's what I know is something that allows me to understand when something is obstructing my energetic field. There could be physical symptoms, such as like headaches, maybe unexplained pain, digestion issues, maybe lack of motivation. Maybe you just have difficulty concentrating or focusing. We blame it on saying that we're like ADHD, but is it a symptom of a emotional pattern or some type of obstruction that, and I'm not saying that these things have to be in your energetic field from something that happened today or even yesterday. This can be inner child work. And that's what I've recognized even in this moment, is that a lot of what is like, I've manifested so many beautiful things in my life, but what seems to be the most pressing for me is to go back to the inner children that I didn't feel, I didn't recognize had their own place, had their own feelings, had their own emotions, had their own things to say about what was going on in my life at that time. How much was I able to express myself? How much was I able to align my chakras? Were there already things in my auric field upon coming into this existence? And what part of those things are still a part of me now? Because maybe some of those experiences, although they activated me, because I'm never traumatized, I'm always activated, but out of those experiences, how did they shape who I am today, and some of the actions and behaviors that like shape my life, shape my experiences today, right? And overall symptom is a sense of being disconnected from your true self. And that's what I found. Maybe sometimes getting around people because of them, of me allowing, let me say that, because it's no one's, it's not for me to put any type of responsibility on somebody outside of myself, something outside of myself, a place outside of myself, a situation for existing outside of myself. It is all in being able to take the accountability for being who, where I am, for having the thoughts and the emotions and the feelings that I do, and getting down to what is this here to teach me. So if I'm having a sense of being disconnected from my true self, what are the things that I'm allowing to be a part of my experience that may not fit anymore? Because it is our job as beings to come to earth to heal. And with that realization, what is it that we are healing from? Are there past life experiences? You may find yourself being the curse killer of the family, and so then you get to experience the bloodline experiences that are needing to be let go of. That can be very, very heavy work. And so from that standpoint, it's very easy to feel very disconnected from your true self, because there are so many different fragmented pieces of yourself that are needing your assistance and are ready to become whole and come into the fruition of who you are. So the obstruction of energy, where does this take place? So all of us have an auric field. And so what an auric field is it's a colored, multi-layered energy field. And it surrounds a person. Every person has an auric field. Also animals, objects. It is my belief that everything has a consciousness. Everything has a consciousness. So it is said to be an extension of a person. And what this auric field does is externally it reflects thoughts, feelings, words, and deeds. And so when you come into a place or whatever, you're kind of scanning the room, you're feeling energy or whatever, what you're actually feeling is the auric fields, right? And some of us are even gifted to be able to see what colors they are, right? And so the brighter the auric field, the more freely the energy is flowing. The more dull or grayscale, the more the auric field may be populated with dense energies, and that's okay because there are ways of clearing it. And so that's the other side of who I am. I am not only someone who's an aromatherapist, but I'm also a Reiki therapist. And so what does that mean? I'm taking universal energy. I'm using my hands. I have been attuned to this practice to be able to alchemize the energy from source, to be able to assist others with removing blockages. Okay? So, when we're talking about the auric field, it's said to be an extension of a person and to reflect their thoughts, feelings, words, and deeds. So, it's the intensity of your inner world actually showing outward. So, which is why even if you've got something going on or whatever, it's very difficult to hide it, because whatever is within is also without, right? As above, so below. As within, so without. And so any unresolved emotions or limiting beliefs cast shadow on the energy field. And so that's what we were talking about when we were talking about having dense energies and feeling those things. And so it is our responsibility to take accountability, to make room for ourselves in a space of self-awareness, to be able to then self-manage what we are now aware of for the greater good of all, right? That's when that social awareness comes in. Okay? So basically this impacts how you interact with the world around you. Okay? Your auric field definitely impacts how you interact with the world around you, which is why it is so important for us to ensure that we're maintaining what we call energetic hygiene. And so even now with me doing what I do, my energetic hygiene looks different today than it did maybe a month ago. There are some things that I may need to do so that, when we're talking about energetic hygiene, it could be the fact that every time I take my jewelry off, I put it into my singing bowl, I bowl it out before I put it back on. This cleanses the energy off of the jewelry that I wear. And I do that on a daily basis. Every day, cleansing my aura. Whether it be in the shower, whether it be a bath, whether it be a sound bowl, whether it be aromatherapy, whether it be through meditation and visualization. There are so many different ways to be able to clear your energy or whatever, to be able to visualize your own auric field, because you should be the first one that is in tuned enough to know what's lurking in your energy, because that is the way that you're going to experience your world. So that gets us to our next points of attracting situations that reinforce the blockages. So that's what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about cycles versus loops. Because if we continue not to be aware, create that self-awareness so that we can create that self-management to get out of that loop, what we consistently do is go into the loop over and over and over again. And that in and of itself can reinforce the blockages and create cycles in our life that may be comfortable but not healthy for us, not in a way that will encourage and allow us to make the changes necessary for our life's purpose to be completed in a successful way, right? So, with that being said, I encourage you to look closely. Just sit with yourself, sit in it, and recognize patterns and areas of resistance in your life. Is it something that you've seen? It may be a different person, but the same energy. Because that's the reason why I don't talk about, certain people, any type of prototypes. I speak of energy, because these are truly energetic signatures, and based on the lessons that is for your soul's purpose to learn depends on the type of energy that continues to show up in your existence. So will you continue to be a beautiful home for an energy that is not serving you, or will you learn from that energy, give it gratitude, give it love, and bid it goodbye, because you now know what the energy was there for. And that's really what it's about. It's not about getting emotional about it or feeling as though things are happening to you, but they're actually happening for you so that you have an opportunity to have these experiences. You have the opportunities to know how to energetically cleanse and take care of yourself so that that way the energy can continue to freely move and you can move through life in a more free way, in a more energetically sound way. Now, I'm not saying that these experiences are blissful. They're less than blissful, especially depending on what lessons you're here to learn, baby. They can really take the breath out of you. But it's about being able to change the narrative and the perspective and to gain a healthy high road, not toxic positivity, because that's the thing too. And I definitely went through that phase. Everything was, oh my gosh, we've got to see this in a positive way. But sometimes some things are just not positive. But I do believe in duality, not polarity. So not good or bad, but the duality is that with good comes bad. With, light comes dark. We need the sun and we need the moon. We need the darkness. We need the light. We need it all. It all works together. It's a part of how our universe works. And once I really started deep diving into universal law, I was a whole lot more clear and felt a whole lot more safe and protected because I know that universal law supersedes anything, including these human laws that are created on this realm. And so if I abide by universal law, I know that I am safe, I am protected, and not only that, I'm supported. I'm supported. Okay? So we're going to end this, and the next videos I'll be making is about self-healing techniques. And so let's talk about the first one. So my favorite one is, I know I talk a lot about oils, but where would I be without meditation and oils being blended together? So of course, definitely the oils set the stage, set the mood, create the stage, create the atmosphere, create the ambiance, brings in what we want to feel. But after that, what is the action that we take afterwards? And meditation has been the best way that I've been able to get to my inner world. So I meditate many times daily, at least once, but many times. And what I find is that it's like having a windshield, and if you haven't cleaned your windshield for a while, it looks foggy. So meditation is my way of cleaning my windshield every day so that I can see clearly out of that thing as I'm on my journey, as I'm in my car that I use to get through this journey that we call life, right? And so I'm just going to say it. I don't think this is talked about enough. And every session that I hold, I always have to go over this, especially whenever it comes to meditation, because when you say meditation to a lot of people, it's like a 4-letter word. People are like, they're not about that life. They've tried it. Many have had sad, I don't know, for some reason there's a lot of expectation that comes with it. I don't know if it's because people are talking about that meditation helps to calm the mind. If you haven't meditated for a while, it is not going to calm your mind. That's not what it's going to do. It's actually going to open your mind. And it may be scary. It may be scary because think about this. Your body has so many messages that it wants to send out. And when you don't give your body the form to get its messages out, once you finally do, it's almost like you not checking your mail for like years, and all of a sudden you go to your mailbox and you check your mail and like it is overflowing with like messages, and you're overwhelmed because of the amount of messages that you have to check. But at the same time, you can't be mad because you're like, I haven't checked my mail in like a year. It's the same thing with this. It's being able to give yourself time and space and allowing those thoughts to come, whether they're scary, whether they're sad, whether they make you angry, however they make you feel, giving your body a form to speak to you, giving your thoughts a moment to pass, allowing them to sit and allowing them to flow, allowing them to come, allowing them to go. Give yourself, that's self-care. That is self-care. Why would you not? You listen to everybody else, I'm sure. Why would you not listen to yourself? And I even encourage a body scan, especially if you haven't meditated in a long time, to go through each part of your body and listen to what it has to say. What is your body saying to you? What does it have to say? And then I want to add not feeling overwhelmed to have to resolve everything on that day once you hear the message. Like, that's like going to the mailbox, finding out you have all this mail for a year, and then trying to go through all the mail that day and resolving and paying all the bills that day. No, it's going to be a process. So how do we embed this into our routine so that it becomes a process, so that time to time, as we're going through our meditations, we can resolve those issues. And maybe even during the day, because meditation isn't just like you're humming and you're laying or whatever. Sometimes people meditate while they're washing dishes, while they're riding a bike, while they're taking a walk, while they're listening to music, while they're dancing, singing, doing art. Like, I'm all about art and inspiration, So what is your way of being able to be in the flow? What gets you in the flow? How do you tap into your body? How are you present with your body? Because truly the power is in the present moment. So what is it that you do to get yourself in that power flow? And that is your version of meditation. And allow yourself to sit with your body and be able to recognize what is in your auric field. What energy are you feeling? And being able to talk to source, guides, ancestors, whatever it is that you believe in, to allow you to move through that. I am here only just as a guide, just to share what I've known and what I've tried and what I've been guided to do. So hopefully that was helpful. I am not going to stay long, but I was kind of just sitting out in nature, and this message really, really felt urgent, like it needed to come out. So please take care of you and recognize that the rapture is truly an internal event. It's not external. So I ask you again, are you going to collapse a timeline, or are you going to be collapsed by a timeline? All right. Thank you so much. Peace.